There is not a better feeling than that. Welcome back, everybody, to the Weekly Armchair. Hope you're all really well. We were all speechless, weren't we, boys, backstage? And obviously, I'm making my return, so I just thought I would host again today. Thanks very much. Good to see you all. Get your comments in. How you feeling? Keen, my good man. How are you, buddy? And how are you feeling?
Well, my voice is semi-gone, but I said, fuck it, I'm going jumping on here anyway, because
Yeah.
it's not fucking often we've had a feel-good fucking factor at the club this season. And in a fucking abundance, I'm fucking proud of every single fucking player that played today. I don't mind swearing. I'll take the flak for swearing. Everyone can fucking swear here today. Every fucking player wore their heart in their fucking sleeve today, and it was just unbelievable performance from United today. In parts, okay, the gaps in midfield were there, but you know what? I actually don't even care about that at this point, because do you know what I mean? The one thing we've wanted all season is for these players to run, put in tackles, and work hard for the shirt, and they've done that today. And we've stopped the fucking Jurgen Klopp fairy tale quadruple. So absolutely unreal scenes.
Quadruple, fake quadruple, not even there anymore. It doesn't really matter, does it? I've just seen a picture of Klopp and he absolutely looks stunned at full time, and it's really fucking good to see. Reese, first pod I've been on with you, my good man. I hope you're very well. Yeah. How you feeling?
Yeah, it's been a long time for me doing this, but I'm glad to be back, especially after a game like that. So, yeah, I'm just in shock, really. I mean, I was just saying before we came on, we felt surprisingly hard done by to sort of be losing that game, with sort of minutes to go, and then sort of turn it around is, wow, just amazing. I think it's great for some of those young lads out there, and great for Ten Hag, because I think having that feeling at Old Trafford's been long overdue for all of us. So it's just great to see Scousers cry. It's just ace to see it in the crowd. So.
Inject it. Absolutely. You know what? It comes with a lot of things, really. Obviously, this is a massive game for us today. We need to keep our head high. We need something, as you say, from Ten Hag. Like, he needs a bit of a boost. The players need a bit of a boost. We had a lot of players that turned up today. Were gaps in midfield. Frustrating at times, but we come out on top. And sometimes you just need that, don't you? And also, selfishly, I'm thinking I'm going to get texts from my Liverpool mates, giving it all that, being a pain in the arse, and it's not going to happen. Hammer, I hope you're well, brother. It's been a little while. I hope you're good. How you feeling?
God fucking damn it. Listen, I'm somebody who has said in the past on this show, and maybe it's me being from the States, that the FA Cup isn't my cup of tea, as you guys might say, all the time. But damn, that was a FA Cup match. Damn, that was a Manchester United versus Liverpool. Oh, geez, I can't even speak. Manchester United versus Liverpool match. That was a hell of a football match. I mean, yeah, I was getting pissed in the second half with what seemed like it was another. I think I even tweeted it about, like, once again their weak mentality was showing up, but they freaking showed up and turned it back on. Man, I lost my shit. Also, Diallo, Ahmad, Jesus Christ, the kid finally got a chance, and he gets the game-winning goal against Liverpool in the FA Cup. My brother's dogs was losing their shit because I was going crazy on the deck.
Mine too.
Man, that was a hell of a match. That was a hell of a game. I'm so freaking hyped that we knocked those dickheads off.
There you go. Lots of effing and blinding today. Stu, my good man, I hope you're good, mate. It's been a little while. How you feeling?
Well, you know me. I'm normally quite calm in situations like this, but I'm absolutely fucking buzzing. It wasn't too distant to the mighty Tipton Town's effort this morning. So, no. What you can't detract away from a group of players, as Keane, Reese and Hammer have said, actually showed a bit of bottle today, a bit of fighting spirit. And I'm gonna hang me cap on the old mate Harry Maguire. Made a massive difference when he came on. People can say what they like about him. I don't care. Today, you've just got to pat him on that fucking massive head of his and say, well done, son. Well done. He was immense when he came on. Eriksen, we haven't seen him for months, it feels like. He had a bit of a calming effect. Ahmad, difficult to know what to say. I thought he played pretty well. He took his goal brilliantly well. Should Keller have saved it? I don't really care. Anthony, great finish. You know, that was kind of the Anthony at the beginning of the season.
It was okay today, actually. took his chances.
I guess only found one.
Yeah, I think Reese put in our group chat. Was it our group chat or the other one? But Makeda moments, and that's what it was. It kind of felt like the Makeda moment, and he, the way that he scored. And I think at the end of the day, fellas, Klopp's gleaming white teeth. He'll be, punching them out himself tonight because he will be stunned. Liverpool will be stunned. They got a couple of lucky goals. We went flat for parts of the game, but all in all, who cares? Who fucking cares? What quadruple on your fucking bike, son? On your bike.
It doesn't matter now, does it? Ultimately, it's whoever gets through at the end of it. We can obviously point out the frailties of United today. Not going to talk about it much, but obviously, whenever we concede a goal or go behind, we really capitulate, and it is a bit worrying. We've seen this for a long time now, even last season. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. Keane, I know you've been quite vocal about Ahmad. I think a lot of us have recently, and obviously came on, did well, got his goal. Just to give you a few things here, 19 touches he had, 10 out of 10 passes, 3 out of 3 tackles won, 5 out of 8 duels won, 1 goal, and then a red card. How you feeling, and what was your take on obviously his finish and him in general?
That's going to be the best red card that young fella is ever going to get in his life. First of all, that'll be the best red card he'll ever get in his life. Secondly, his energy was brilliant. I think he was very forward thinking. He was taking players on. He was even getting stuck in with headers and stuff as well, going into challenges. And to be fair, one thing our forwards haven't done outside of Anthony this season and Garnacho is get into a challenge, go in and try win a second ball. And fucking Ahmad was doing that today, which is something, a side of his game I've never seen before. But we all know Ahmad to be creative and direct in terms of beating players, but his defensive side of the game, he showed that today. And look, fair fucks to him. Like he hasn't got a chance all season. He's been injured as well, for a large part of it as well. And look, come in the biggest fucking game of English football in a very high pressure situation, high stakes, and to do that, fair play to him. That takes balls. And look, one thing I would say is now he's given himself an opportunity and a platform now to go in and maybe challenge a Garnacho, challenge a Rashford in these coming weeks. Where look, the fixture list is going to be rough. We have a lot of big games coming up in the league, but he's shown he can definitely contribute. And let's say shout out to Marcus. I might have got it wrong about Ahmad not getting a chance and not performing. And Marcus, if you're watching, I'm humble enough to admit, maybe in the words of Johnny FX, Ollie, I was wrong, you were right. In that sense, Marcus, I was wrong, you were right about Ahmad. So look, it's a great performance from him. And look, we can only hope now that when he does get a chance, whether it's in a league game or maybe in the semi-final of the FA Cup, who knows if he can fucking keep going and take his chance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice when everyone's nice and getting along well, isn't it? It's just what a
Yeah.
win does for you sometimes. Euphoria. A couple other players I want to talk about today. Mainu, I appreciate the game wasn't us on the front foot the whole time. There were frustrations, but let's try and keep it to the positives today. Mainu. First half, I thought he was absolutely exceptional. We've spoken about him so many times. Reese, I'm sure you've spoken about him so many times. Very technically great. I loved his little dance that they called it, obviously, from the commentary in the first half. But Reese, your thoughts on him today and how instrumental in the parts that we played well was he in midfield?
Oh yeah, absolutely class. His technique, his technical abilities. He's up there already with some of the greats already in the league. I think his positional play sometimes, which will come with experience, needs probably, he needs a bit more game time, a bit more experience, just in terms of kind of his defensive positioning. When he's tracking back, sometimes he leaves gaps, but I think generally on the ball and going forward, it's only going to get better. And, you see the stuff that Eriksen's doing. Maino's got potential to sort of go beyond that and be be the potentially one of the best creative midfielders in the league. And in 10 years' time, we could be talking about this kid being one of the greatest we've had for. So he's technically got bags of potential. He's great on the ball. He's confident. You just want to see gears from him a little bit. So sometimes he can coast. I think you see it with maybe he's similar to kind of maybe not sort of stature wise, but maybe technique wise, like we had in Pogba. And you want him to sort of maybe pick that up in games and then be able to slow it down in some of the games when we're up. So like deal with tempo. So, you know, when we need to go get a goal, he's quicker, he's more active, he's more aggressive. When we're leading, maybe take a bit of a step back. So
just on that point, Reece, actually, I think you make a good point there. What I will say is I think that when we need to stabilise the game a little bit, slow it down a little bit and take more control, I think he's very good at that. But I think you make a good point. When we need to see a little bit more, and sometimes you need the other players to do that as well, he's probably not as good as that. But yeah, as you say, comes with experience. He's still only 19. Yeah. And really great things to come. I know we're probably getting ahead of ourselves. We've seen some great things, but I do believe, and Reece is absolutely right, could be a very, very good player for us moving forward. I've just seen Luke Littler, made me chuckle a little bit whilst Reece was talking. He said, what is the difference between Luke Littler and Jurgen Klopp? Littler has more troubles, which made me chuckle a little bit. Right, moving on then. A few other players. Dalot I want to talk about. Garnacho I thought was very good today. Rashford obviously getting a few sort of criticisms. He probably should have put away a couple of goals, but he did get a goal in the end and probably shut everyone up. Hammer, talk to me about Diogo Dalot, please.
I mean, I think he's, as we've all seen, he's been getting better in his defensive work, and it's something that if he can do that, he might stay here longer than some people expect, and in terms of the future plans of the club. But
Coventry City, we've drawn Coventry City in semi-final.
No,
that's good. I mean, that's good.
Have we drawn Coventry?
We should be happy.
Yeah,
with
the draw just happened there. We drew Coventry City.
Oh, nice one. Well, they played well yesterday, didn't they?
Well.
Where's it, at home or away?
Wembley.
Oh, of course, semi-finals. I forget.
Come on, Stu.
Why is it? Well, I fucking hated Wembley. It's bullshit, isn't it?
Go on, Hammer.
No, yeah, I'll say. I'm sorry, my mind is still. I'm trying to remember moments of Dalot, and I know he didn't necessarily have a bad game, but
I thought he was very good today. I thought he was very good.
So I think we need to take the defense overall with a grain of salt, especially once we got into extra time, because we ended the game with, who was it? Anthony at left back and Bruno at center back. So I think our defense was getting moved around a lot today. But Dalot, I'll say this for Dalot, he is coming more and more into himself, and I think some people have mentioned comments that Cristiano Ronaldo made after he left on Dalot, and the work ethic that Dalot was starting to put in. And you know what? Maybe being part of Portugal and being around Ronaldo as much as he has been is starting to show in the way he's improving. So I'll give him all the credit. Am I 100% convinced that he might be the lock-in right back for us for the long-term future plans? Maybe not, but having somebody like him at the club who also very much so actually gives a shit and plays with everything every time he steps on the pitch, hey, I got to give him the credit that he's been deserving in the last few weeks or a couple months.
Listen, I think he's taken a lot of shit this year, and I think some of it unnecessary, actually. I think Stu and I have spoken many, many times. Keane has been a part of that as well. As positional awareness is not the best. However, today, and I think, as you said, previously in the last few games, he's been pretty good defensively, getting better, going forward. You talk about the defence. There were parts of the game, particularly in the first half, we switched off a little bit, but I don't think that was down to the fullbacks. I actually think Rashford was a little bit culpable for one of the goals. I think that we were carved open in midfield, but I thought Aaron Wan-Bissaka was actually very good today. Kept Salah out of the game for the majority, apart from obviously his goal, and Dalot also very, very good. But yeah, fair points, and absolutely right. Moving on to Garnacho, another big player for us today. Couple of moments, I think, where he was probably overrated. I think he sort of there was a couple of points when we were going forward that he wasn't at his best, lost the ball a couple of times, but on the whole was good. And I'll come to you about him, Stu. We talk about Garnacho a lot. I know you talk about his experience a lot, but what did you make of his performance today?
It's unusual. I mean, you guys have spoken about KB Mino, and you're absolutely right. There is times where he actually took control of the game, made a real difference. got a lot to learn still. I think Garnacho is very, very similar today. He came alive, didn't he, towards the latter part of the game. Certainly the extra time period. He became that danger and that threat that fullbacks don't want at 99 minutes, 100 minutes, 120 minutes. They don't want that type of player anywhere around them. And Tsimikas, if you notice when he came on, he was there for a reason, and that was to absolutely clatter Garnacho, and he did that straight away. But fair play to the lad, he got on with it. Didn't bother him, didn't phase him, and he became integral in us winning the game. His willingness to run, his willingness to carry the ball, when you really look at the business end of any game, and he'd been run ragged to an extent, it showed a great deal of maturity. Look, I've still got my issues with him, but today isn't the day to discuss those types of issues. I think today's the day to doff your cap to the kid and say, look, mate, if it wasn't for you, we may not have been as far up the pitch at the crucial times that we wouldn't normally be, because we would have sat deep and sat deep and sat deep. So I thought it was really impressive. Look, I don't want to give Liverpool any credit, but look at what Harvey Elliott did when he came on for Liverpool, the way he tried to carry the game. Garnacho carried the game for us in the latter stages. I thought he was terrific. He had his moments of weakness during the game, but hey, that's not for today. Well done, Garnacho.
Yeah, did well. Obviously got the assist at the end there as well. 20 passes completed.
The whole team had their moments of weakness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had probably 40 minutes of the game where we were poor, and it doesn't get solely blamed on one person. The whole team was really poor, and that obviously is what happened. 20 passes completed, 6 shots, 5 chances created, 5 crosses, and of course.
Can I make one complaint? And I don't know if you were going to go to him yet or going forward, but Onana has improved immensely. But I want to fight him for how many times he knocks the ball down instead of catching it. Motherfucker, catch the goddamn ball, please. He needs he did it a few times, and some of them were decent catches, but some of them were easy catches. But like, there's too many times, not just in this game, in recent games, where he's knocking it left, right, and I know at times you have to do that for the type of shot, but he does it more than I would like.
So
I think just sorry, I was going to say, Marcus, on Garnacho as well. I thought it was class today. I really did. You know, he's obviously young as well, like ridiculously young, and to run 120 minutes non-stop up and down that wing is just ridiculous. He must have run a 25-30k today. Like, it's just ridiculous. And you know, for him to really, he's our only major kind of outlet really in terms of anybody on some sort of form, because everybody else is either off form or not really kind of able to play that position. So for him to have somebody like that who's going to play that position and be that aggressive and then run that that length of time was class today. I thought he was brilliant. And
do you know what happened as well, lads? Do you know Garnacho this week? His brother's just after tweeting there that Garnacho only trained 2 days this week due to a hamstring injury.
Jesus.
That says a lot about the rest of the team. That says a lot about the rest of the team.
Well, the thing is, what I liked about us today as well with Garnacho doing that is I felt like we went a little bit more direct today. We didn't try and play this kind of flashy, knock it, pass it out from your box. Yeah, but it's nice to keep the ball, but I felt like just hitting it direct was the way to go today. And it was nice sometimes that we didn't resort to trying to be like Man City again. We went direct and it suited our strength. So that's what we need to do. It wins us games. So I feel like, Garnacho was a big part of that, really. That's helped. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
agree. I was going to move on to Onana, actually. Keane, you wanted to come in a minute ago after Hammer spoke about Onana.
Yeah, look, to be fair, I do. I understand, when he pats it down a couple of times, your heart's kind of in your mouth. But I think he kept it in the game. Hearts. He pulled off a couple of good saves. He commanded his box.
No. I think I'm not saying he played bad or anything like that. I'm just saying, in the last few weeks, I've just been noticing how much he knocks it down, and every time he does it, it makes me semi-shit myself.
Yeah, look, your heart's in your mouth. And I think I've PTSD from David De Gea and goals. So when I see him do that kind of stuff, I'm like, fuck, here we go again. But look, I think one thing about Andre Onana, he's really come into himself in the last couple of months. Actually, since post AFCON, when he had the kind of when he had that difficult time at AFCON and he had this situation with Eto'o and getting dropped for Cameroon. But since he's come back, he's been absolutely sensational. One of the best keepers.
One of our most consistent players, really, to be honest.
Yeah, he's been one of the most consistent performers since he's come back. And look, I think the Manchester United goalkeeper position it's a very scrutinised, very high pressure position. And look, it was going to be hard for anybody to come into this team, do a post David and try to not even replicate, but come in and take over. Do you know what I mean? It's like when Schmeichel left. It took us 3 or 4 keepers before we or 5 keepers even before we got Van der Sar in. So look, he's done fantastically well and he played very well today. And if he keeps going and he gets that Golden Glove this season, I do not want to hear anything about David De Gea's Golden Glove last season, because that was down to Martinez, Varane, and Luke Shaw, etc. If Andre Onana gets it with the amount of shots we face per game this season, do you know what I mean? Hats off to him.
Absolutely right.
And sorry, I'll say this too. I think Onana is one of those athletes who's very much a confidence player. He
was a little bit. He's a little bit hit and miss today, wasn't he? I mean, in the AFU group, if you listen to Alex, he's the worst goalkeeper in the entire planet at this point in time. But when you look at where he was to where he is, I think you're right. I think he's kind of matured again. He's come on and he's realised you've got to play a different way in England. You've got to play a different way for Manchester United, and the pressure they're playing for Manchester United is nothing he'll ever experience playing for Cameroon. Or Inter Milan to an extent. Playing for Manchester United is a whole new different stratosphere. So, I mean, I'll open it to the floor on this, lads. Do you think he could have and should have saved any of the 3 efforts?
No, I don't think so. I
2
think
deflections, and then one was the bounce back. Yeah.
Did the deflections go through Maguire's legs as well? It's hard to kind of judge it, isn't it, from that perspective? I wouldn't be too hard on him for the goal.
I think if the roles were reversed, sorry, Reece. I think if the roles were reversed, this was Alisson that didn't make too many mistakes, wasn't getting too much stick, and these same things happened, we wouldn't be talking about this. You know what I mean? I think he's had a bit too much slate this season. I appreciate, obviously, he's got a lot to fill coming in, but I think he's been fairly treated, to be honest. Yeah, and I don't think anything was his fault today, and he's certainly not culpable. But there we go. Sorry, Reece, go on.
Oh no, you're fine. Yeah, I mean, first of all, guys, we've won. It's 4-3, we've won. So let's not dwell on negatives too much. But yeah, I mean, the only one he could have really done, I think, is the one where he probably could have tipped it over the bar or tipped it wide instead of knocking it back down in his own box. But the other ones, the deflection from, was it Harvey Elliott, got the big deflection off bottom. He's not saving that. He's gone to go the other way.
Yeah,
and I think he'd be pointing fingers more at the other keeper. To be fair, on the other side of the I think there's a couple that Liverpool fans, I'm sure, will be saying that if Alisson's in the goal, would he have saved a couple of those? So look, we're on the positive side, lads. I know it's been a long time, but it's we enjoy it. So. Yeah,
I think I see so much negativity about him. It just frustrates me a little bit and want to kind of defend him. Really, that was all.
His distribution today was class. I mean, there was a couple of times where he got pressed and his feet are quality, and he's making good, angled passes. That's what obviously we want going forward in terms of developing our team, and he's starting to get confidence, as Stu said before. We're starting to do that more and more. So, yeah, I thought it was good today.
I think it's important to note, again, I really want to move on. I'm going to have to go in a minute, guys. It's obviously good to come back and really appreciate everyone in the comments. I think it's important to know that Onana needs to be in, obviously, a particular team. Keane sort of not hit the nail on the head. Last season, our defence was very, very good. We've had many relationships this season. It is about the midfield, that number 6, and of course the defenders too, and that does have a massive impact on your goalkeeper. Now, in order for him to play, distribute, play on the front foot, play out from the back, he needs to not have the pressure in the shots that we've been facing. And that's what I'm saying. Anyway, listen, guys, I'm going to have to go. Great to see you all. Thanks, boys.
Good to see you, Mark. Thanks for co-hosting, pal. See you later, mate. Guys, we are 25 minutes in. We haven't mentioned, Keane, have we? Manchester Mind, pal.
Yeah, so obviously this video is sponsored by Manchester Mind. Obviously, look, it's always this time of year we're kind of coming to a very tough time. Manchester Mind does a lot of great work for mental health services in the Manchester community. So do check their website out, and as you can see, their details are below to donate to Manchester Mind as well. So every little helps, and they do fantastic work. And even if you're not from the Manchester area, they can point you towards other services as well.
Yeah, please do that. Reese, you're obviously a keen analyst of the game. You still coach do you coach your lads team still? And
yeah, they're better than me playing.
Yeah, where were the boys and that bit? What would you have done different today at the beginning? Would you have changed it a bit earlier? Did you like what Ten Hag did in terms of substitutions? Do you think they were the right type of time and the right profile of player?
I liked, I mean, I think, mentioned it before. I liked how he went more direct. I think, he played quite long at times when it needed to go. Obviously, Liverpool played quite a high line. I think it worked first half. We were getting joy with that. And I think what we were doing is a lot of the time, and you spoke about it, Stu, before, you've got to work hard, regardless of kind of like the level you're at. You've still got to work hard. And we were doing that. We were snatching those loose balls. I think Wan-Bissaka snatched a couple of loose balls. And that's not necessarily tactics. That's just working hard and making sure that, you're reading the game and you're on, on your toes and everything else. So they were working hard in that midfield, winning that midfield battle. And then we were getting the break and we were hitting it direct, getting it wide. To be honest, the only thing that did disappoint me a little bit is I felt we could have really killed the game. I think that we had chances. We knocked it across the box. There wasn't anybody there. Did we really give Højlund the best opportunity in that kind of 60 minutes, 70 minutes that he got? I felt like we didn't really sort of, again, give him the service that I think he could have got to get himself a goal. And obviously the game sort of opened up, didn't it, in the last sort of half an hour, 40 minutes. But I think overall he got it right in the first half. I think Nerves played a part in the two goals before half time. It was nothing to do with tactics. It was just, we were sitting back a little bit. We're getting a bit tired in that first half, and then we're inviting a bit of pressure. But I think he got it right. I mean, it was a bit worrying towards the last few minutes in that extra time when Bruno was playing in centre half. But other than that, I think again we've won, so he must have got it right. Yeah, definitely. But we played well, and it was actually first. As United fans, we want to enjoy the game as well, don't we? We want to see us creating chances, having that kind of edge of your seat sort of football, and we got that today as well. So that was nice to see. We competed against one of the other greatest teams in the country. So we were back somewhere where we need to be today. So we need to carry it on.
Totally agree. Keane, just based on what Reese was saying then, there's this old saying, isn't there? Style of play. Now, Reese described 4 styles of play during that piece he just mentioned then. What did you notice about a style of play, and do you kind of agree with that terminology now?
Well, there definitely is still styles of play and ways of playing football and ways of controlling a game, but control goes out the window in a situation like we did today. I think look at Ten Hag's substitutions were very forward thinking. Look, he had to go for it. It was needs must, and we got a bit of control when Eriksen came into the midfield. I thought we moved the ball a bit quicker, in that regard. Anthony coming on, he was a player to obviously stretch the pitch. So obviously there was forward thinking behind the substitutions, and you can almost say Erik ten Hag probably has saved his job nearly to an extent with them substitutions today. Beating Liverpool now, he's definitely earned himself. Like, I won't say regardless of what happens this season, so I do think there's still a lot of football to be played, and there's certain moving parts that definitely can happen. But look, if anything can kick our season on, is this win today. There's no excuse now for any of these players not to run every game, because every fucking one of them ran today, and they've done it in abundance. So I don't want to see us, after international break, who we play in Brentford away.
We're away at Brentford, yeah.
Away at Brentford, I think it is. It can't be a case now where Brentford away, after the international break, these players aren't running. Every fucking game now is a cup final between now and the end of the season. Look, because you look at Villa and Tottenham, they're not playing great.
Finished. They're finished. They're
Do you know
done.
what I mean? They're not playing well at the moment. And like, look, in all honest to God, not in all fact, neither of we haven't been playing well, but we played well today against arguably the second best team in the league, or third best team in the league, whichever way you kind of look at the top three this season. And this is more or less a full Liverpool team without Trent Alexander-Arnold and Alisson. That was it. So, and Connor Bradley's been a good player. Joe Gomez has been very good. Kelleher has been unbelievable in the last kind of 2 months they've played. So Liverpool fans can't turn around and say, they're missing X, Y, and Z. We more or less played their full team today, bar the exception of 2 players. Whilst we're missing Martinez, whilst we're missing Luke Shaw, whilst we're missing Casemiro. So our own players have absolutely no excuse for not putting in a shift, because they've done it today. But also, Liverpool cannot say, they cannot make any excuse whatsoever, considering they're playing against a depleted Man United team. So I don't want to hear any of it from the Scousers.
I just want to reiterate that what Keane said there, because I totally agree with him. I think, like, sorry, Amber, I'll let you jump in a sec, but I just wanted to just kind of pick up on what he said, because unfortunately our team isn't good enough to walk through games. We haven't got Rooney, Tevez, Ronaldo anymore. We can't just walk through a game, play poorly, and win 2 or 3-0. We've got to work. These players have got to work hard to get a performance out, and they've shown us today again that if they do that, they'll get a result against anybody. Liverpool are as good as anybody, and as Keane said there, they have got a lot of their players back now. I mean, the arrogance. I just wanted to put this one out there, because I felt like, Salah scored, and the arrogance of his celebration just stood there, and then to pull him off. I know he's been injured, but to pull him off on 70 minutes, as if the game was dead and buried at 2-1. Yeah. I just felt like it was pure arrogance from Klopp, and he deserves everything he gets for that, because obviously, arguably, you keep him on there, and it's a different test, isn't it? But yeah, that did piss me off, to be honest. When he brought him off, I thought he thinks this game's done. But yeah, no, I just wanted to reiterate what Keane said. I totally agree with what he said there on that.
Yeah, no, same here. Just before we go to player ratings, we're just over half an hour in now, guys. We'll do player ratings in a minute. We'll kick the show to about 45 minutes. I'm going to talk to you about the ref, Hammer, because I don't like talking about refs, as you well know, but I thought he was fucking useless today. The amount of fouls that were given against us, clearly they should have been given for us. I thought he was absolutely woeful. I'd be interested in your opinion.
I think a quick one that can answer that or can comment on that is the foul that was given on Harry Maguire after he got kicked in the fucking chest. So I don't really know what that ref was, what was wrong with him today, what was going on. We won, so we can't say some other things that we might want to say, but yeah, he was borderline to the point where if some more significant things had happened, people would have been asking for him to get investigated. But it goes to show that, like, I think Keane said it. These players have no excuse not to run now. So even with a shit ref, even with the game not going our way, even with 2 goals off deflections, right? You have no excuse going forward to be running. So it's a pain in the ass. And what I'll say on the ref overall, and I'll say about refs overall, their quality and their consistency has been continuously dropping, and over not just this season, over the last few set of seasons, VAR, on-field reffing, all of it. Whoever's in charge of that, I think, needs to take a look at 2 things. One, how refs get dealt with when they make blatant wrong, just consistently bad. And 2, whatever the hell's going on and what trainings and education referees might be getting, may need to be looked at as well, because the overall quality is just embarrassing.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, guys. Right then, let's. Sorry.
Before we go to rating, I just want to say, I saw it when Coventry won. Some little, I need to find it because I think I responded to him. Some little Coventry fan twat said something about limbs at Coventry, and then said you ain't gonna see that at United. Man, oh my God! Now I'm so happy we got picked against them.
Well, they played quite well against Wolves, to be fair to them. They got the deserved win. So, but I think the Wembley atmosphere, the pitch.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying the smug
think
attitude to
we're,
say you're not going to get limbs at that. Do you know who Manchester United is? We win late games. This is what are you talking about?
Let them be smug. Let them be smug. Right then, guys. Let's break down the player ratings. How do you want to do it, Keane?
We'll go the whole way. We'll go from 1 to 11, and we'll rate all the subs because they all had an impact in some way, shape, or form. So for once, Joe, I apologize to the viewers. Sometimes we don't do all player ratings because usually we're shit,
Yes.
but today we're unreal. So we're going through all of them.
Lovely. So we'll start with Andre Onana then. Sorry, Reece. Sorry, mate.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
I thought you want to give your view on it. I mean, they're probably all going to be 9s and 10s here, but
why not?
Well, no, I mean, probably a 9. I think the only thing I did give him a 10 was probably that tip over the bar. But generally, I didn't think he put a foot wrong. I thought his distribution was class. So yeah, a 9 for me.
Yeah, King.
Yeah, I'd probably give him. Yeah, I'd give him a 9 as well. I think he kept us in the game. He made a good few saves. Joe might have had a shaky moment or two, but look, I don't care. He kept us in the game. His distribution was decent, and yeah, again, just going back to what I said earlier, I think he's really after improving. He's become very commanding in that back four, and it's something that we've been dying to see since he signed, and he looks like the keeper we've signed from Inter Milan now.
Yeah, totally agree. And Hammer?
I mean, I'll agree with it. I'm not usually a 9 and 10 giver, but today was an insane game, so I'll agree with it on
that one. King, we'll start with you with Dalot.
I give Dalot an 8. I thought Dalot look, if you look at Luis Diaz last week against Kyle Walker, he roasted him. Joe, Luis Diaz, he didn't really have a great game today. I don't remember him doing much. I remember him beating Dalot once. Other than that, I don't think he done much for him today. I give Diogo Dalot an 8.
Okay, and Reece?
Yeah, I'd agree. To be honest, there was a moment in this first half that just kind of I picked out of my mind really that he sort of cut back on his left foot and he played a switch ball with his left and he just straight to feet. I was like, wow, he's on it today. So yeah, definitely an 8. To be fair, I mean, probably just because other people played a little bit better than he did, and goal scorers get the highlights. But an 8 definitely. He was good today.
Hammer?
Yeah, I'll agree. And also, I know you asked me earlier about Dalot as well, and Keane brought up a good point that I didn't bring up earlier. He did do a pretty good job of keeping who was it that he was up against?
Yeah,
keeping him quiet. So I'll agree with the 8.
Lovely. We will go with Varane. Hammer, we'll start with you this time, pal.
I'll give Varane an 8.5. Y'all might give him a 9, but I'll give him an 8.5. I think Varane has been he doesn't do as much as hard tackling and those type of dirty works, but his calmness at the back line I think is a massive thing for our team.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. King?
Yeah, I give Varane probably an 8 as well. That's all. He was solid. There was one or two times where Darwin Núñez pulled him out of position, but he stood up well enough in them little instances. So Núñez is a tough customer. So yeah, I give Varane an 8.
No, I totally agree. And Reece?
Yeah, but probably somewhere between a 7 and an 8. Really, I think he was when Maguire came on, as you said before. I think he kind of made a bit of a difference, but. Yeah, but Varane did okay. I thought he was okay today. It wasn't outstanding, but he wasn't. He was good. So yeah, probably 7.5, something like that.
No worries. And we'll stay with you for Lindelof.
Again, yeah, I think there was a couple of sketchy. There was one moment against Núñez where I think he, for some reason, let the ball run, and I was like, "What's he doing?" And then it was offside, I think, and I was like, "For God's sake," there was a moment where I thought he'd messed up, yeah, I thought he was okay. Again, he works really hard. I think that's always part of his game. Whether he's as good technically as you've Varane, I don't sort of, or Martinez. I don't think that is the case. But he's when called upon, he's put a shift in. So I think probably a 7, to be honest, today.
Yeah, I thought he was solid. Kane? Kane, you there, pal?
Did we lose him?
No, we might have done. So, Hammer.
I'll agree with Reese on that. I think one of the things that I've been thinking about I know this isn't the topic of the show, but I've been a lot of thinking about who's going to be leaving, who's going to be not. Lindelof has been making up for injuries this season, mostly rather than playing in his position. But yeah, I'll agree with Reese on the 7, and I do think Lindelof is going to be that center back because Maguire has stepped up, in the last couple of months. So I think Lindelof is going to be that one to get shipped out.
Agreed. And Reese, Lindelof for you? Reese, sorry. Keane. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give Lindelof. I think, he's not my cup of tea. Anyone who's watched this channel knows that I wanted that man sold a long time ago. But look, to be fair, he done well today, and he is going from pillar to post in terms of positions on the pitch at left back and centre back today. So yeah, I give him a solid 7. I thought he done well. And if anyone seen my Twitter before the game, my biggest worry with Nunes against peeling off Lindelof today. And to be fair, there was a couple of occasions where he did go up and contest balls them today, so I can't complain at all.
Yeah, fair enough. Wan-Bissaka.
I give Wan-Bissaka an 8. I thought he was rock solid, especially in that first half. I know Mo Salah scored today, but playing out of position and having him on lockdown, there's not many fullbacks that do Salah. I've seen Shaw do it a couple of times. But I thought today he was outstanding. So he made a mistake for the goal. In terms of but look, when I look at the other defensive contribution off the ball, I can't see past his tackling and even some of the runs he made to free up Rashford on that left hand side as well. He done quite well there, in build up as well. So yeah, I'll give him an 8. I thought he was solid today. And look, thank God he's back now because look, at least we can have a bit more balance.
Some rotation too. Jesus,
I totally agree. Hammer, what do you think about Wan-Bissaka, pal?
Yeah, I'll agree with what Keane said on the 8. 8, and yes, he did give that away for the goal and you know what? I slightly blame Onana and everybody else around. Don't give it to Dallo. Don't give it to him. Turn the other way. Don't try to have him play out the back. It's never gonna work. With all due respect to him, but yeah, I'll give him the 8.
Lovely. Reese.
Yeah, probably same as the other two guys. Yeah, definitely. It's I think his interceptions in the first half, just breaking up the play and then moving us forward shifting from defence to attack. He was kind of key to that, I think, in the first half. And as I say, we probably could have capitalised on a couple more chances and probably should have. I won't say kill off the game, but definitely take a couple more chances from what he was doing in that first half. But yeah, I'd say an 8 as well.
Super. We'll stay with you for our first sub, and that is Big Harry. Quality.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. I mean, it's funny in those type of games because, obviously, Van Dijk's such a big asset to Liverpool's back four, and often when anything comes forward, he's there intercepted. He's there putting a foot in on a striker when they've got the back turned, or they're winning a big header away, and it becomes sort of almost, I won't say like a tennis match, but you sort of see the two focal points either side for Liverpool, and then obviously Maguire when he came on, sort of giving us that stability. I felt like aerially because obviously both teams are then going quite direct. So yeah, I thought he was class. I thought he didn't put a foot wrong when he came on. Nearly got a cross for Rashford and nearly created a goal when he was staying. I thought he's going to do it, and then I thought it was brilliant actually. To be honest, so I'd say an 8, definitely.
No, I'd agree with that. Keane,
you're muted.
Keane, you're muted.
For fuck's sake! I was there waxing lyrical about Maguire, and then I was on mute.
Giddy today, Keane. That's what it is, mate. Can you give you a free pass on that one?
Yeah, we'll let you off today, mate.
Leave me off today. If I do it next week, now, Stu, you better give out to me. But look, here, I'd give Harry Maguire a 9. I thought he was absolutely exceptional today, and in many regards, part of the group that were match changers today. I thought he was exceptional. He won his battles, when they pumped the ball up to Nunes, but also equally and set pieces. Virgil van Dijk was his bitch.
Oh no, he was.
Virgil van Dijk was his bitch. For every set piece after that. There's not many people who would say that about Virgil van Dijk. I think Maguire done exceptionally well when he came on, and I know Bruno Fernandes played through injury, and I was going to, when it come to Bruno, I was going to praise him for that. But in Harry Maguire's performance here, I won't say a captain's performance because he's not the captain anymore. But by God, it was a leader's performance. for him today. He was brilliant. And do you know all these social media little freaks, right? That Joe who are out there and they absolutely abuse Maguire and they say this, say that, and a lot of non-United fans have been giving him abuse. Joe, because the England squad the other day. Now I'm Irish, I don't have too much vested interest. Do you know when the England squad gets announced? You know, obviously because I look at my own international team. But the amount of people under the squad announcement, Joe, going mad about Harry Maguire, and even I was talking to an English supporter, who's actually a non-United fan, the other day, and they're saying, "Oh, Maguire shouldn't be in the squad." Well, Harry Maguire hasn't put a foot wrong for England ever, really, to bar one friendly match where he gave away the ball once. And this season he's been quite good, and even last year when he was making the few appearances, when we were in the cup runs last year, he was quite good. Yeah, he's not worth 80 million. Yeah, he isn't this, in talking football Twitter terms, this wavy baller that you're gonna come across. The phrases the kids use nowadays. Like, honest to God, he's a reliable centre back. He's a good professional, and not many people would be able to come back from what he's had to endure off the pitch and on the pitch. So fair play to him. And look, even if he's not here next season, do you know what? He's been a good servant for the club since he's been here. Yeah. You ever about his quality, you mightn't rate him on some occasions, but he's been a good servant. And that's one thing I can say about him since he's been here.
No, I totally agree. And Hammer for Maguire.
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple of years ago you might have been talking about me, Keen, about the social media people. I definitely was one of the bigger critics of Harry. But I am also somebody who gives credit where credit's due, and I'll agree with the 9. He played great today, defense and offense. Yeah, and like I said when we talked, I think when we mentioned Lindelof. I think Lindelof is the one of the center backs who's going to be shipped off, and I think Maguire has earned keeping a place, whether that's starting, whether that's impacting off the bench, whether that's rotation, however you want to look at it. I think he's kept a place in the United squad with how he's played this season.
Yeah, I think he says. Staying with you, Dan Hammer, for KB Mano.
Holy shit. Listen, that kid, I know we said we don't want to get too carried away, but he is a hell of a footballer. The maturity that he has and the calm that he has on the ball for somebody his age, some of our senior players don't have that. And that means that it is just a natural thing to him. And one of the things that I've been hearing, and I think we've all been hearing since he made his first team debut from the other first team players and the senior players, is his humbleness and how grounded he is. So it also seems like he's a player who isn't going to get carried away once things really start flowing for him. So can I give him a 9.5? I don't like it.
You can give him what you like.
Tens is like, you had a 100% perfect game. So it's not, and I'm not saying he had a lot of mistakes, but he did get, he came off and all that. But so I'll give him a 9.5. A 9 for his overall game, the extra 0.5 for that dribble in the top left corner, because that shit was dirty. I love the kid. I think he's going to be the pivotal person. Once he gets older, once he matures, he's going to become the pivotal person in our midfield for the future plans of this club.
Yeah, I totally agree. Reese, what's your thoughts on KB Mano?
I think that, yeah, definitely a 9. I think he was class today. I think he was really good. And as Amma said, to get a 10, you've maybe got to sort of be winning the game outright on your own, probably. But the kid's got a lot of potential. He's been thrown in a lot of big games. I'm not sure if his first game was a Liverpool game, was it, or it was a big game.
I think it was. Yeah, Anfield, wasn't it?
I think so. I think he's been thrown into some big games, and if anybody, I think the thing that United have lost over the years, and probably half the reason why we've had these big losses and these big defeats is that we lose the reason, the big occasion, the feeling of what it means to play Liverpool and to win and not to lose, and especially not to lose dramatically. And these kids like him coming through the academy and playing them every other week and understanding what it means to play Liverpool, to play Man City, to play your Arsenals. That kid's come through. Same as Garnacho. They feel it. McTominay. They feel it. They know what it means to play against those teams, and so you can see how much it means to them, and that's why they run to the end. So, look, a 9 for me. I think he's very close to a 10. He was class today. I think defensively, as I said before, is the thing that he over time will develop. Scholesy was the same, wasn't he? Scholesy was more an offensive kind of fielder, and then he dropped back. So, yeah, lots of good to come from him, I think, but definitely a 9 today.
Excellent. And King, what's your thoughts on Mainoo?
Yeah, I give him a 9 as well. I thought he absolutely bossed the midfield today. I'm not mute. Great.
No, you're not on mute. No, you're good.
he bossed the midfield today. Like if you look at Endo and McAllister, they've been great for Liverpool this season. Like especially if you look at the City game last week, like they gave Rodri and De Bruyne a go in there last week, and to look at him dribbling past them and winning the ball back off him, and it was a very mature performance. If you look at the midfield three that we had in Bruno, McTominay, and Mainoo, he looked like the seasoned vet compared to the two lads. Now they played well anyway. Like I'm not going to disparage them too much, but Kobbie Mainoo just looked like a seasoned vet in there. And it was like watching a blend, like Reece mentioned earlier, of like Pogba. But when you look at his overall performance, you look at things he's done today. It was like a blend of Pogba and Michael Carrick in there in terms of like his ability to dribble with the ball and to beat a player too. But the way he kind of sat in that position and took the ball from the defenders and kind of anchored that midfield, it was kind of a Michael Carrick-esque performance. From not throwing pressure on him, not throwing pressure on the lad, but I think he's a fucking superstar. And I was talking to a Liverpool fan this week who was trying to tell me that Harvey Elliott, who's a decent player by the way, is a better player than Kobbie Mainoo. In the words of The Rock, it doesn't matter what you think, because 100% absolutely, Kobbie Mainoo is sensational, and we have a star in our hands. And Carrington again just keeps producing good young players. Mm-hmm. You have Rashford, you have Garnacho, you have Mainoo, you had that other guy. We do have a lot of good academy players coming out of that system. And I'll tell you one thing, I know Ineos are making changes. I'll tell you one thing, they need to keep Nick Cox as head of youth development there, because we are breeding good players.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Scott McTominay, interesting performance. I thought he drifted a little bit in the match, but I thought he was solid when he was involved in the match. So, Reece, we'll start with you with McSauce. I think he's probably the only one that might divide a little bit of opinion in today's game.
I think I'm going to go for it. It's tough, isn't it? Because he scored the opening goal, but he had a big chance to make it 2-0 as well, and he didn't take it. And that really should have been. That's what I was talking about before. But it's an 8 for me. I thought he played well. I think Scott likes it when the game's a battle. Remember the games against Leeds where he was absolutely fantastic, and it was that kind of classic kind of battle, tackle running in left, right, and centre. And it kind of, when it drifts away from that and becomes more technically based, then he struggles a little bit more, and he drifts in and out. But I mean, his passing today, his break-up play was good, and sometimes you just want him to see him dominate games. Then, like you've got it, you're physically strong, you're big, you've got the passing range when you want it, you can make a tackle. You look at like your Declan Rices of this world. Everyone would laugh at you if you were going to put McTominay anywhere near that level, but he's got the same technique, the same physical presence, the same. I'm not saying he's Declan Rice, but what I'm saying is, he should be dominating games a little bit more, because he's got everything about his game that would suggest that he's got enough about him.
Yeah, you're talking about influence. I know what you're saying. You're not doing a comparison, but you're talking about, Rice does influence the game, doesn't he? You're talking about two different types of players, but McTominay could influence the game a lot better, for sure.
He scored today. He has a big chance for a second. He's on top of the game. Suddenly, him 2 goals and he's dominating the game. Why not? But then he drifts away. So it's an 8 for me because of that reason. But I thought he was still good. He just needs to, again, want to grab hold of a game now and take it from there. Again, he's still very young. We forget about that with McTominay.
Yeah. Hammer, what's your thoughts on McSauce?
This is probably where you talked about the dividing some of the things.
It happens.
I give him the credit for the goal and his ability to score a goal. He knows where to pop up in the box, but you are supposed to be a midfielder. I don't give him as much credit as Reece might in regards to his dribbling, his passing. he had opportunities today to assist people, and he just had poor decision making. He got in an argument with Hoyland when it was clearly his fault, and he chose the wrong pass. He's a striker. He was clearly running in behind the defense. I don't know why you try to play him out wide, and then you wanted to shout at him like you didn't play the wrong pass. So he frustrates me with his inconsistencies. Again, he can pick up a goal, and like you said, when it's a game to his strengths, he can make a good tackle inside and all that. But like I mentioned with Lindelof, I think he is going to be the midfielder. Maybe I would make him the midfielder, one of the midfielders to go. But coaches and the academy seem to love him season after season. So maybe he won't go. So I'll give him a 7.5.
He's West Ham bound, is McTominay.
You think?
Yeah, 100%. Keane, what's your thoughts on Scott?
Yeah, I'll give McTominay a 7. I don't think he done anything massively outrageously bad, but I thought like he was very honest in the way he played today in terms of his work, his tackling, and he scored the goal as well. It's mad. Before the game, Sean Maroney, who is a friend of the channel, I texted him today and I said, two things I texted him. I said, first of all, a Scott McTominay goal would hit like crack today. And I also said a Marcus Rashford goal would even hit even better like crack. Both of them scored. Both of them scored. So you know we got our adrenaline rush there today. But no, look, we all know his deficiencies in midfield. Like they're clear to see. But I'm torn on him because think about it is if we sell him this summer, right? It's 40-50 million pure FFP profit, right? And which means we can go out and definitely splash that straight away. The other thing is, though, do we have that profile in midfielder who can come in and score goals in the box? We currently don't at the minute. Now, not less Ten Hag next season or wherever the manager is moves Bruno back into that second striker role that he played under Ollie. But other than that, we don't have that profile in midfielder who can arrive in the box and score. And like
we don't know what we have in Mount yet with this team. He's barely played.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. I keep forgetting about him because we haven't seen him.
I think we've all forgotten about Mason Mount, bless him.
Yeah, we can be forgiven for that. But what I will say is, like, with the profile of midfielder that he is, and if we keep utilising him in a role further forward, maybe he can be that kind of, I don't want to say it, but I will, Fellaini-esque, player that we can use, in the boxing games, depending on the setup of certain teams. So I'm torn on selling him. I think he's been, funnily enough, since October, one of our players of the season, which is crazy considering where he could have ended up at the start of the summer. I think Dalot has probably been our best player this year, most consistent anyway. But I think McTominay is right up there.
For me, McTominay goes. I think we only get 35 for him, West Ham, and not that we will be able to, but I would bring in Paulinho in place of Casemiro, Mino, and Bruno would be my central three. That's how I would play it, and I think that would work quite nicely balance-wise. Reese, I'm going to give you Eriksen because I didn't think it was a bad cameo role. He got scored low by Sky Sports, which I was a bit disappointed about, but I'm going to give you Eriksen.
I think a strong 7, really. I think he put a foot wrong. I think he, makes that assist and it's not offside, and Rashford tucks it away like in the last minute. Then we're probably talking about that being maybe an 8 or a 9. But I think he didn't do anything wrong. Came on. I think he fresh set of legs. Obviously, he's been out a while. Controlled the game a little bit more than we had, previously to that. And then, I thought it was good. It's good to see him back. So I thought he didn't do anything wrong. It was a 7 for me.
Yeah, Keane, what's your thoughts on Eriksen?
Yeah, I thought I'd give him a 7. See, I was torn between a 6.5 and a 7 because I thought he'd done well to move the ball. Yeah, look, I think he has limitations off the ball, but like in these games where you might need someone to just make the game tick that little bit, I think he does. I think he does well in that regard. So yeah, look, again, like McTominay, it was an honest performance from him. And when he came on, and I'd give him. I won't go 6.5. I think I'm being harsh. I'll go 7.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Hammer?
Yeah, I'll agree with the guys with a 7. He came on with limited time as a lot of our subs did, but did make his impact. And yeah, like Reece said, if Rashford had tucked that away, it'd be another conversation. But unfortunately, because of his legs, he's another one of the midfielders who I think is going to be going in the summer as well.
Oh, he'll be gone. Yeah. He won't stay. So that moves us on to probably, arguably, the player of the match, and that is Mr. Garnacho. We'll do Bruno in a bit.
Oh, okay.
Because I think he's also going to divide opinion. So, Mr. Garnacho, we'll start with Keane on that one.
I give Garnacho a 9. He was fucking brilliant today. Like on the right, on the left, taking players on, working up and down the pitch, defensively, offensively. He was an absolute threat. It's a pity Trent Alexander-Arnold wasn't playing today, because I would have loved to see Garnacho give him an absolute roasting today. But other than that, I thought he was sensational. And again, to see that the fact he only trained twice this week because he had a hamstring injury, and he had a performance like that for 100 minutes. He was fucking unreal. Yeah, I give him a 9.
Super. Hammer?
I agree with Keane, and I think one of the things outside of his playing, because his playing has been getting better and better, and for a while I think a lot of us thought he was just going to be a super sub, and he still might be, but he's improving. I want to comment him on his maturity. I think Stu brought it up earlier in the show when whoever came on was just to come on to clatter the kid, and he wasn't throwing tantrums. He wasn't getting pissed. He got up and got on with it and kept playing.
Yeah, totally agree. And Reece?
Yeah, probably 9, maybe even a 9.5. I think any more than that would have been him just grabbing himself a goal. If he caps that performance with a goal, then it's definitely nearer a 10. But what he's given us now is he's given us an outlet. He's with some of his runs and in deep, he's putting pressure on the other teams, and he's just allowing us to get up the pitch. It's not bouncing straight back because the wingers aren't able to hold it up. He's given us a chance to get up there and support him. And it's just brilliant. Personally, I like him on the right a little bit more. I think he's got that then with his right foot. I think he's got an option to then deliver the ball more accurately. And on the left, he's restricted a little bit. But it worked today, and he's class. His head down. His work ethic is obviously brilliant. And you saw this in kind of those young Ronaldo days. And I'm not suggesting he's going to be anywhere near that level, but you saw it in those young Ronaldo days where you just wanted him to get a bit more consistent. He had a few chances in a few games recently as well. And if he can start next season capitalising on them and getting himself, goals and double-figure goals, then he's going to start going onto that next level, really. But he was class today, really, really good. So he just needs to again, like Kobe, just bounce on and use that as experience today, and go on to the next one and put another 9 in.
Yeah, totally agree. Staying with you, Reece, Rashford.
Yeah, bit of a mixed bag, really. I mean, I think like all of us, we want him to be as good as we think he can be. It's probably going to be similar to what I'm going to say about Bruno when we get on to Bruno. Is that I think we're Rashford. We've just got to accept that, and I get it in a way because I played a little bit like this when I played, where you don't necessarily want the responsibility on your shoulders to drag your team through and win a game. If everybody's playing well, which they did today, we had 3 or 4, 5, 6 players all playing really well. It takes a pressure off a Rashford. He might get 2 or 3 chances, but then he'll get that one chance and win you the game. And he got his chance today to get us back level. Was that? Did I get a facelift? No, I didn't get a facelift. I can't afford a facelift.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, I mean, it's. I thought he was an 8. I think I know he got a goal. But it was still layered with frustration, wasn't it? There were still chances. There were still times when he was offside. There were times when I think for the first goal, he might have. Was he at fault for not tracking his runner? So there were still frustrations in there. But I think when the team's playing well, it takes that labour off his shoulders. And I think you can see that in his game. When he knows he can take 3 or 4 chances, he'll come good. So, yeah, I thought an 8 today, to be honest.
Okay. Hammer?
I might give him slightly lower in a 7.5. You know what? No, screw it. He made up for the miss. So I'll agree with the 8. But a lot of Reese's points, I think, were right in terms of, he is going to have to get back, or no, he's going to have to he's going to have to start showing his consistency or some consistency. You know, his up and down every season isn't something that's going to be able to keep Manchester United where where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And Keane, Rashford for you.
Yeah, I give Rashford an 8. Look, the man could have had a fucking hat trick today. Like I said, I said in the group chat there, like when he missed the chance right at the end of the games, like any other day of the week, he would have scored. But look, there's still parts of his game he needs to work on. I think he's running low on confidence, but like again, he delivers in big moments. Like look at his goal scoring record against the big teams. So what's that now? It's like over 31 goals against the big teams now, the big six.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah, so like in that regard, he's flying in that regard against the big teams. But like, look, we all want Rashford to get back to the Rashford we know that he can be. Like he's a talented player, and we all know that on his day, I hate that phrase, but have to use it. On his day, he's one of the most dangerous left wingers in world football. On his day,
on his day, yeah.
On his day is the key phrase here. But a lot of people are saying sell him. I wouldn't. I genuinely wouldn't sell him. I do think, look, if we get a fully fit team, and if Luke Shaw can't come back from injury and we have to get rid of him, get someone like Anthony Robinson in from Fulham or someone like that, a left back who has that similar skill set, who can overlap and have that link up play. Because one thing Rashford loses, and we seen it kind of today that he got a bit back that Wan-Bissaka done a few underlaps, a few overlaps, is that he needs his fullback to link up with him to maximise his skill set. And when he has like Lindelof playing behind him and he doesn't have that player behind him, he kind of runs into brick walls because effectively he doesn't have that extra player to take that to a fullback or winger that's in front of him away. So that's why sometimes he does run into brick walls and then he makes bad decisions. But look, if we can get his confidence back, we have a very good footballer there. And look, again, I do think people like the United stand in that just abuse him because he won't give him an interview. Well, I'm sorry. I wouldn't do. I would hope no other United players would do an interview with that crowd after the way they treat people. But nevertheless, he's one of our own. We're going to back him till the day he leaves his football club. But until then, he's one of us, so we should definitely support him.
Yeah, definitely. Right, 2 to go in the starting 11. So that is, we'll go with Højlund first. Hammer will start with you, and then we'll move to Bruno. And then we'll quickly just do the remaining subs.
Well, I remember somebody, I think it was Reese, commenting about how Højlund didn't have too much going to him today from everybody, from the people around him. Damn, I'm going to have to give the kid a 7. And y'all might remember more stuff from me, but I'm going to use, one of the excuses I always use in regards to when I don't hear too much of a player in a game, I just assume they're not doing too much overall. So I'm going to give him a 7, but part of it, like somebody commented earlier, was him not getting fed enough. But I do, as Stu, I do rate the kid highly. And I think he's going to be a hell of a player for us up front.
Yeah. Reese?
Yeah, was it Højlund? Sorry, Stu.
Højlund, we got Højlund, yeah. We've got a couple more to do.
Yeah.
We'll have to a bit, lads, I think.
I think he was probably the lowest rating that I had, and it's not because I don't think he's class. I think he's come back from injury, they threw him straight in, and I think he brought him off early just to kind of hopefully save him a bit. But it's probably a 6.5 really, and that's been fair. I think Van Dijk kind of that's where once we had going wide, that's when we started getting a bit of joy. But down the centre, Van Dijk sort of had him sort of comfortably in his I won't say in his pocket, but. I think he sussed him out pretty early, but the kid's got a lot of potential. I've seen him at Old Trafford, and his pace is unreal. He's cracking how quick he is. He just needs this season out of the way, and I think next season he'll come good. Obviously, he's settling in as well. So but it wasn't his day today, but it wasn't that kind of game for him. I don't think.
No, I totally agree. And Keane, Højlund for you, pal.
You mute. Oh, okay.
I give him a 6.5. I do think look, it's a tough one for him. He's only coming back from injury into a big high intensity game like that, and he probably wasn't fully fit. He didn't look it anyway on the pitch today. And And I think Van Dijk, when you're coming up against Van Dijk in the form he's in, it's always going to be tough whether you're coming back from injury or not anyway. So, look, like Reece said, he's electric. He's pace. He's strong. I'm sure there's going to be days where he's going to be banging in goals against the Scousers, and we'll be giving him a lot higher rating that we're giving him today. But no, look, he worked his socks off. He linked up, played well in occasions. So, yeah, Joe, I can't complain about him at all. Again, it was an honest performance from himself. Like, he didn't down tools when it wasn't going his way. So,
Absolutely.
Joe, I commend him for that.
Yeah.
So staying with you then, Keane. We'll finish with Bruno for the start of 11, and then we'll go with Mount. Just trying to think who else came on there. We had so many.
Ahmad, Mount and Ahmad.
Yeah. How you forget about Ahmad?
Yeah, so Ahmad, of course, the goal scorer. Yeah, so we'll start. Yeah, so do Bruno and then do Ahmad, King.
I give Bruno a 7. Look, I think his work off the ball was decent, and again, he played through injury towards the end and slotted in that kind of quarterback role in towards the last 10-15 minutes of the game, and then for the whole of extra time. So it was good in that respect. And look, we all know he's a bit rough around the edges in certain times, but I can't take away his work rate and his determination. It's second to none in terms of that. Yes, he's a bit petulant, but you know what? You have to have a bit of arrogance about you when you're playing football at the highest level. Even you're playing at a decent level, you need to have a bit of fucking arrogance about you. Yes, there's a few times where he dives a bit, and you want him to kind of cut that out of his game. But let me tell you one thing, lads. Nani fucking dived, and he was a good player. Do you know what I mean? We loved him for it because he wound opposition fans up, and he delivered as well on many occasions. So I look at Bruno. He's a great professional. He's a good leader in this squad, and if anyone doesn't think that Bruno Fernandes doesn't put his all in for his Man United shirt, you're living on cloud cuckoo land, because he died for the badge.
Yeah. And Ahmad?
Keane.
Yeah, I'm taking Ahmad as well. I'll give. Do you know what? Because he got the winner, and the fact that he's actually fasting through Ramadan, especially this time of year and going to extra time, I'm going to give Ahmad, because it's a winner against the Scousers. He changed the game when he came on, and he's fasting, and he hasn't got a chance this season, and he put on a performance like that against him. I'm giving him a 10. I'm giving the man of the match.
Yeah. Honestly, people forget there's Ramadan this month, don't they? Absolutely terrific. Absolutely terrific. If you know anything about Formula One, it was all on a Saturday just because of Ramadan. Reece, I'm going to give you Mason Mount, and then you're going to finish with Anthony Hammer. So Mount, difficult one because he didn't really touch the ball, not that I saw or heard.
Yeah, that's pretty difficult. I mean, I think everyone should start off on a 6.57 when they come on. Really, if they've not done anything wrong, I think you generally start at that baseline level. So for me, he's a 6.5, 7. Really, I think in terms of, again, he didn't do anything wrong. I suppose you can argue, he was doing stuff right because the game changed when he did come on, so he provided a bit of energy in there. Again, he's another exciting one, isn't it? He's funny with injuries because they sort of all seem to come back at once, really, and then you have a bit of a selection headache. So, it'll be an interesting one in terms of how we integrate him in the team. But he's best to have an option like him sat there than not. And again, he didn't do anything wrong at all, but he didn't do much for me to sort of point it out, I don't think either. So it's hard to score him any more than probably a 6.5, 7.
Yeah, fair enough. No, fair enough. And Hammer, finish off with Anthony, please.
Real quick, Trevor, me and you, if we ever meet, me and you gonna have a problem.
Hammer, you're gonna have to give him a hiding or something just to get him to shut up.
Listen.
Well, I get an 8, so I'm all right. I don't mind that. I get an 8. So
yeah. Fuck you guys. No.
What Trevor does, he's fucking ultimate troll, but he's like the biggest supporter of the channel.
massive supporter.
In which case, James, we should be encouraging him, not hassling him.
No. I'll hassle him because he's always talking shit.
He can call me Vardy all day long.
No, I'll give Anthony a 7.5. Some might give him an 8 because of the goal, but I think he did a lot of hard work today and shit.
Okay, yeah, he did okay.
The kid finally found a right foot, huh? He probably was looking in the locker somewhere and got one before the game, but It was a nice goal. I forgot somebody mentioned right, and that it was like that. It was just one of those another classic moments for somebody making. He hasn't had too much for himself this season, but he just sparked himself into something. Yeah, I'll give him a 7.5, and if he can start working on his right foot more consistently, he'll be a better player for us.
Yeah, totally agree. Well, guys, look, we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh shit!
I know, which is amazing. I guess we're still full of the joys of a famous and well-deserved victory over our bitter rivals, Liverpool. What a shame. The Scousers will be crying into their beer tonight. I've already fired off thousands of texts to all my Liverpool supporting friends, and funnily enough, I've had no response. So there you go. Guys, we have been the Weekly Armchair. Keane, you might just say a quick words about that. You've kind of brought it back.
Yeah, I've brought back the Weekly Armchair. I was about to say by popular demand, but no, there was a little thing in the background where we had to make a change, and we won't say because I don't want to be held for any libel. But we had to make a change. But look, it's good to be back. We're getting a load of old vibes back, and like you seen tonight, Mark came back as well, and there's a few more old heads and also new faces like Reese tonight who are on. So a lot of shows coming up this week, and look, it's actually great to sit here and talk about a win and talk about players playing with passion and drive. Do you know what? It makes a change from the drivel we've seen this season. So long may it continue. And look, there's a lot of exciting things come up the channel, and hopefully some brighter times ahead for United as well. And don't forget, guys, obviously to like the video, give it a share, give it a subscribe, and obviously if you're listening on the audio platform as well, whether it's Spotify, Apple, or any of the podcast platforms you're using, do give us obviously a like on the pod, and also as well give us a rating on there as well, because it does help Joe build. We're doing actually quite well in Ireland on the audio platform, surprisingly. So hopefully that can continue and grow elsewhere.
Excellent. Well, look, as King says, a load of shows coming up over the next 2 weeks. We're on the international break, so just keep an eye on Twitter for what shows are coming up. I know Callum's podcast, so we'll be back on Tuesday. Do you know? Has he got a guest yet? He can announce.
He does have a guest. He's going to announce it, I think, probably tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow. I'm losing track of my days.
Lovely.
So the show will be on, and also as well, we're collaborating with Irish Football Blog, because obviously a former Manchester United player is also now the interim manager of Ireland, and John O'Shea. So we will be chatting about maybe potentially John O'Shea getting the Ireland job as well. So that will be coming up during the international break as well.
Lovely. So there's lots happening, guys. So please keep an eye on it. Big thanks to everybody who's joined, including Trev. Big thanks to everybody who's joined us on the panel tonight. Reese, great to have you back. Well, great to make your debut actually on this channel, isn't it? So
it's good to be back.
Reese is an OG of AFU, so he's had a few months off as a break, and glad to have you. Hope to see you on more shows. Good to see you as always, Hammer. And I'm guessing that Keane's had a bad hair day, hence he's not got his video up. But we've been a Weekly Armchair. Thank you ever so much, guys, and we will see you around the corner. Take care, everyone.